Olá galera, sejam bem-vindos. Essa live é só em inglês, hein? So, hi guys, welcome to this live. We're gonna talk about astrology and self-development. Let me just place the name of the live over here so then you can actually know what's going on. Josie is already there. So, in a few minutes, I'm gonna invite her over. So, hi Josie, good morning, good afternoon. Suleiman Garbargungun. Hello, how are you? So give me just a few seconds and let's say self-discovery, whatever. Yes, you guys will understand what's talking about. So comment pinned, and we're gonna wait a few minutes for people can actually join us. If you have any friends or people that would like to know about how astrology works, what is an astrology map or birth chart, and how can one can benefit getting to know himself or herself through his or her astrological map. So if you guys would like to place questions, we are going to leave the comments, opened, so you can place your doubts, and then after our chat we're gonna answer all of you. So Josie, are you ready? So let's see. Good morning.
Good
Hello.
morning. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, what about you?
Good. Yes, I can hear you pretty good.
Yeah, just make sure you use this
I know,
thing.
I know.
Our voice, get better understood and people actually listen properly, because sometimes in that there's some external voices that get in the way.
Yes, and another day, I have two of these, and another day was not
Mhm.
working right. So I was not sure which one I was using today, but it's the one that it is working.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yes. Are you ready? Because you are the one with all the knowledge in this world.
No,
So
no, the knowledge in this world, it's just a
almost.
compilation of everything that I have studied, throughout the years. And I think that, uh, so let's start, properly. My name is Eddie. For those of you that are entering in this live, welcome to join our chat, about astrology and what other tools for self-knowledge can help us sometimes see the light at the end of the tunnel, or understand why things happen in a certain manner and they cannot happen in another manner. And I am working officially as an astrologer since 2020, but I used to read maps since I can't remember when, because it was like a parallel. I didn't consider it a profession. That for me used to be like a hobby, because I had another profession. I was doing something else, although I always wanted to be an astrologer. And this is what is most, amazing about sometimes how life leads us, like, listen, before you reach that particular point, you have to get knowledge and experience in order to do the best of you that you can, once you reach the summit, kind of this way. And I can use the experience that life has brought me and all the tests and challenges to sometimes offer some support or have a view to clear the other person that's in front of me or that's looking after me for some kind of uh, explanation or clear doubts, or just to, what do you see here in my chat there? How can you translate everything that you see here? Because we are born under a particular sky. Each one of us, we do have our birth chart. And even if you may ask about twins, and I know I have read astrological maps for twins, and particularly twins, they were friends of mine, and I could see that they were just one is opposite the other. although they have basically the same map. And that translates something about free will, that we have that written over there and we can choose if we want to go that direction or if we want to take another route completely different. And there's another thing about understanding our map, astrological map, that we can jump and do more that is given that for us. I don't know if that's understandable. How do you say about it, Josie?
No, it is totally understandable. And I got to know Edgy in a class that I was taking. She was taking this class as well. And right
That, but
away,
tell, right, talk about the people, what we were studying.
we
Come
were
on.
studying the Maya, the Maya astrology or the Maya.
The Mayan law of time through galactic information and wisdom. For some people, it's translated as the Tzolk'in, the law of time, the Tzolk'in, the kings, the galactic map, and things like that. We were colleagues, and we kind of,
Yeah.
sometimes we get
We,
really close to people, and we kind of like each other right away. And we
yes.
kept on our friendship has grown into something else because Josie is at that time she was studying Ayurveda and now she's practicing Ayurveda. And I came, as I said to you guys, I was not an astrology full time. I am a yoga teacher. It has been 20 years. I have studied Ayurveda, the basics of it, and practice few things. And recently, Josie went to India, and that was whenever somebody goes to India, it brings back good memories because my trip to India was that trip that triggers, like, listen, person, what are you doing in your life? What is your mission? Because every time we go to India and we return, we are not the same person. No
You
way.
definitely come with another mind. So I met Edgy in this class, and which was amazing, and I could feel her energy right away. An amazing person with a lot of knowledge, a lot of knowledge. And of course, we were in classes, we were meeting more, during the classes, and then we start to talk to each other in private. And recently, Edgy read my map a week ago, I think.
Yeah.
And wow, 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 wow. This woman is amazing. I've read my map. Someone read my map before, a couple of years ago, and I thought it was good. But then comes Edgy, and I was like, wow, what good means to me, because this is wonderful. I mean, is a knowledge. And during this, just to let you guys know, we spent about 5 hours talking, because when you read your astrology map, it is a mix of therapy and what is happening in your life. It is amazing. And Edgy, she needs to do this part, because there are some stuff that you might think like, wow, like this really happened, and what should I act, what should I do, why this happened. And Edgy is there to give you like some guidance of why this is happening, and it's okay. It's normal. She can see on your map, because it all depends on the planets, the moon, the sun, which is all nature, and we are all part of this, and this is amazing. But Edge, what I want to say is that during this class, I heard for the first time during this the time she was reading my map and we were talking, and she started studying, get interested about astrology when she was 10 years old. And she told us at that time we didn't have, all this technology, and she used to go buy like magazines or, these things that probably Edgy. I mean, at
I
that
used to
time
go to
people
the
thought you were
news,
weird,
yeah,
like what this
news
woman.
agency. News agency. I used to go to, in Brazil is different than America. That's different than in Australia and Europe. Each country has its own characteristics. So I used to go to the guy that worked at the news agency saying, look, what's new? What's new magazine exists that I can take home and bring? And for those of you that are coming here for this live and don't know me, I also used to be an athlete. I used to be a diver, and then I became a high diver. So I was really blessed to have the opportunity to work and live overseas. And I used that time to improve everything that I wanted to learn. And I didn't have the chance while I was in Brazil. Because if you think, 1980, 1985, at that time in Brazil, it was not so information wasn't freely given the way it is right now. And people that used to study astrology and other uh, sciences or mystic themes, we were considered like hippies and we were like outlaws. How do you say that in English? When you don't go according to the society. And especially inside my house, like, I want to study astrology. No way, you're not going to be an astrologer. No way, you're not going to do that, because people used to have that belief that, oh no, that guy is like a kind of a trickster, trying to trick people into believing they are something that they are not. So there was some kind of a prejudice they used to have before. And nowadays, thank God as well, whatever, people are much more open-minded and can understand the benefits of getting to know these hidden symbols and archetypes. They are there and they can help us, especially because, inside astrology, there are so many avenues. Like, there are astrologers that they are also psychologists, and they use a psychological look to understand their patients. Or nowadays, which is so popular in Brazil, especially, like systemic constellation, Bert Hellinger familiar constellation, like you have a problem in your family or something in your life, and you go and do some systemic constellation. I don't know if this is the proper name in English, guys, forgive me. But anyway, and then for the past 2 or 3 years, some astrologers are doing that. There's a lady that I follow. She's Brazilian. She's actually read my map a long time ago. She's living in Portugal, and she has just finished her certification about putting together systemic constellation with astrology. So we can help in many different ways, kind of, okay, I'm lost. I need some kind of guidance. What do I have? What kind of tool that I can use and that I can actually trust that will support my steps towards becoming a better person, or much more whole with myself, so that I can be whole talking to the others. Does it make any sense?
It does, Edgy. Actually, I like that you brought this up because yes, even when I was young, astrology was something like, whoa, what is this? People want to relate it to religion and thinking that was something like a witch would, And I'm
Just one
so
pause.
happy.
Just one pause. I think the Americans are just like Brazilian, because in Brazil, every end of the year, people say, "Oh, what's gonna happen? Let's look for the astrologers." Isn't that true, Josie?
Yes, yes, yes. And and I think it's amazing that nowadays we have people are more open-minded when it comes to astrology, and they are looking in another way. And I'm gonna tell to everybody that is here right now, or everybody that is gonna watch this later, astrology. Have your map read by an astrologer. This is the best self-knowledge for you to start to know, like, who am I? What am I doing here? What do I need to do here? Because when you think about life, first of all, life is short, and we can go that deep, but life is shorter. It's shorter than everyone imagine. Life is kind of, you go to bed, you sleep, when you open your eyes, you have a dream, and suddenly you wake up and you say, oh, okay, it's gone. There's no life anymore. I'm out of the earth. This is how short life is. And anytime I think about that, I need to, it's kind of like, it's very emotional for me, because when I found this, it is emotional. It is very emotional because it's short, and then it comes to our mind like, so what do I need to do? Like, how do I enjoy my life here? Because first of all, if we are here, if we are in Earth, we should be very thankful, because it is a gift. It is a gift. Everyone here asked for so long to live this life here, to be able to feel, to be able to listen, to be able to speak, to be able to smell, to be able to hug, to kiss, to everything, all these senses. So first of all, we need to be very thankful for
To
that,
be alive and not
for
take things
being
for
alive.
granted. I mean,
And then
it,
it is when it comes that question, Edge. So okay, but I'm boring, I'm depressed, I don't know what to do, I don't like this job, I don't like this relationship, I don't think I'm giving enough love to my son or my daughter, I have problems with my parents or with my siblings, or this is when questions comes, and why this, why this is part of my life, why am I experiencing this? And I can tell you, like 100% sure, this is not marketing. When you have an astrologer reading your map, it's when things open. Because like the last time that I read right now, of course, I'm not gonna go to my personal things, but I had a specific situation that I want to talk to Eddie about, and I said, Eddie, this is what I mean, of course you want to know about everything, but I want to know something specific about the situation. And she dig, guys, we spent 5 hours together, 5 hours together. And I'm happy that Eddie records that and sent to me after, because it's, imagine this conversation. So for me, this is the real therapy. And even you were talking about some people using astrology, and talking about Ayurveda, there are situations that they use astrology, and the Indians, they use a lot of the astrology to take the decisions, to even to know if there's a match when a couple will get married, because the marriages over there are, you know, they don't choose. The parents usually choose who their
yeah, a very cultural thing in India. And then I'm just gonna use this space to say, I mean, when I went to India and when I returned, um, I took classes on Jyotish, which is
Mhm.
the Vedic astrology. And Vedic astrology, it's a very profound study. It puts together, yes, like yoga and Ayurveda, they are sisters. And when you go and have your Vedic map done, or you study, para aí, galera. I've got some cats, and the cats are just in front of me trying to play around.
This is Edge,
And,
guys. This is how she is.
I mean, because there's a table behind this mobile phone, and the cats are just like, no, don't destroy my scenery, please. Anyway, they're messing up everything. And it is true. Not that we say, I mean, I. Para, galera. I use modern astrology, Western astrology. And there is also a possibility of you to get to know, like, okay, I want to read my birth chart because I'm facing a very challenging healthy situation. Is there anything that you can see there? Or sometimes when you have your solar return, which is the map of your birthday that points this cycle, I mean, a full year cycle from one birthday to the next. And when you have a solar revolution, it points there if you're going to have any healthy issue. But in the Vedic astrology map, it's right there because Ayurveda is all connected to what's in your mind and how you feed your body and how do you feed your emotions and how do you feed, I mean, just like yoga, thoughts, actions, feelings, and how you put that together. and it's not scary, the proper word, but just like, wow, it's right there.
Yeah,
So
it's not
all these
scary,
clues,
Edgy. What happens is when you start saying, you think like, I barely know this woman. How she knows that? I
oh,
barely know.
it's true.
And this is what
It's
happened,
true.
right?
It's true. When you go to an astrologer, it's like this person, has got some crystal ball. How come? This person knows that secret that I don't tell anyone. I mean, and this is something that I'm talking about the other side. Okay, we as astrologers, we tell our clients like, look, we are not stalking you guys. It's just an open field, and we study all these planets and the signs and the positions and the placements and how they talk, if they talk in a very harmonious way or very challenging way, and which house and what's going on. Either Vedic astrology or Western astrology is right there. And the astrologer, when the astrologer, when the astrologer is completely full aware of his or her responsibility, that's very important in translating the information and also not hiding the information, because you cannot hide something from your client. You have to find a proper way to tell difficult things, challenging things, but the truth, the person is in front of you asking to guide her and to translate what she cannot see. So you have to give to her everything that is there and offer possibilities, because not that's in the map prophesizes, as another astrologer friend of mine says, you have an exit. Oh, I can go this way, I can go that way. But sometimes there are some destiny things as well. Man is right there in the map. One planet hits there, and then the other there, and then the other there. So there's no escape anyway. But everything is for our growth and the process that we, as you said before, we decided to incarnate. We are here on planet Earth. We are experiencing great lessons in order for our soul to evolve, which is another arm of astrology. When you have evolution, astrology, evolutionary astrology, when you actually see like, this is, this body, as yoga and Ayurveda say, sometimes, time passes and this body is gonna decay. But our soul, the light inside this body, it still exists. So this key, I think, this is the key point where we go from, okay, mundane, okay, a much more, a little bit more highly elevated, much more spiritually elevated. And I mean, where am I in this stage of life where I found myself? And am I improving? Am I not improving? Am I wasting my time and missing opportunities? Or is there anything that I am blind to it and I need somebody to shed some light for me to reorient my destiny? Because sometimes you may get lost, or your view get, how can you say,
It's
uh,
kind of like you
there's a
have,
lot. Yeah, there's a lot of misty in front of your eyes, and you don't see things properly. Especially you say that, when there's an aspect in your map with Neptune, because Neptune is the planet that rules Pisces, and sometimes things get really misty, and you're just like, wow, I don't see a thing, in front of me.
and what is interesting, Edgy, is that, when you see, when you talk about how the planet is today with the sun, the moon, or what is, and it's so interesting because when you start to understand a little bit and you see like, wow, yesterday I was feeling like that, and this is what it says that, that the energy would be. That's why sometimes we are so good and we wake up and you're ready to do like, discover the world. And there are other days you wake up, you say like, oh my gosh, like I'm more tired. I can think much. I don't know what to do. You start to have doubts in your life. And it is amazing because we always think like, hey, I want to be happy forever, every single day. And I want to have this feeling every single day, and it's never like that. First of all, because in the world everything moves, everything. That's why Ayurveda we say a lot: move your body, exercise, move. Like if you are stuck in something, mainly something that is bothering you, as I said before, relationship, a job, a anything that for some reason you feel that is not good, you need to pay attention to that, because there is something asking, pushing you, like move. And the nature, astrology, they show this. You know, the sun moves. You wake up, the sun rises, and then in the end of the day, you know, the sun goes down and comes the moon. The planet, everything, the planets, they are constant in movements, and we need to be in movements. The nature, you know, we have like uh, spring, summer, fall,
All
winter,
seasons, yeah. But then
everything.
the Ayurveda also calls our attention for those midpoints in between some seasons. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes.
About there are six seasons instead of four. And
Yes.
the thing is, it seems, I know you guys probably saying, oh, their life is marvelous. No, sometimes you forget, you know what I mean? And I'm going to tell my example. Since last week, I don't know when, I have been, my map is just like, things getting, on top of my head, and I'm going to that way, like, oh, I hit a part of my body and it's like, I felt like I was locked inside a room with no doors, no windows, and I want to get out, and I just keep kicking and hitting my body at each corner. Sometimes this is the feeling that you get when you are under very tense or stressful aspects. And digging into more astrology, once you get to know your chart. Okay, I'm not an astrologer, but I know the placement of my rising sun, my sun, the moon, when the houses open up about the degrees, and then you actually start organizing your life to flow with the universe. Okay, there's going to be a new moon. What seeds do I want to plant for me in order to manifest those seeds 6 months after that when the full moon hits? You know, one example right now, we are under the full moon of Aquarius. So before I asked people, and I can ask you guys, they are watching this live now, and then I'm gonna watch eventually later. What were you doing around February 1st or 2nd of this year? Because at that time, there was the new moon in Aquarius. 6 months later, like now, there is the full moon in Aquarius. But there's not only the full moon in Aquarius, there are all other planetary occurrences at the same time. And that's why this full moon is so intense, because Aquarius is a fixed sign. And then you're going to see it. Saturn is right there. So the moon activated Saturn. Saturn is squaring Uranus, the planet that rules Aquarius. A square is a very challenging aspect. Then Uranus is very together, not so conjoined, but it's still powerful with Mars. And Mars talks about impulsivity, aggressiveness, and motivation, my drive, the drive to do things. But, is receiving, a tense aspect. There is also the North Node and the South Node that in Vedic astrology we relate to Rahu and Ketu, the head of the dragon, the tail of the dragon. And this is very karmic. So we are all facing a new moment in our lives. Like the past behaviors, they won't function anymore. Everything has to be new all the time. So we have to reinvent ourselves every single moment. This is quite challenging, especially for those signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. They are fixed signs, and we, as I say, because I've got Sun in Scorpio, Ascendant Aquarius, and Moon in Leo, so in my head, in my head. So I can say, yes, and so many people from either Taurus signs or Aquarius that, Angie, save me here. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Is like, take a full breath, release, and these are the challenges that we asked. That's the thing, to take responsibility for everything that's in charge. Because before we incarnate, we say, okay, I take this challenge.
It's
And how
easy.
come, I mean, how perseverance I'm going to have, how much perseverance I'm going to have in order to go through and face, grow from it, and tend to the hurt that might happen or the frustration, and learn from it, and learn with the eyes of love, not with the eyes of pain and sorrow. That's the maybe some suggestion to face challenging times. I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy, people, especially because you may face some healthy issues, some domestic issues, some ancestral healing to be for you to delve into, maybe some professional setbacks, and when your professional setbacks or your livelihood setbacks, when you don't have stability and you don't have structure. When we think about structure in astrology, we relate it to the sign of Saturn. How do we do without structure? How do we do when our foundation is has been rocked and there's no stones for you to stand up, and you kind of, oh my God, what am I going to do now? I mean, and it's not only me that's feeling that. Some other astrologer that I follow, that I like the way he speaks about evolutionary astrology. He's a Leo guy, so he say, "Oh my God, everything is happening," and we just have to laugh at it, sometimes, because, like, of course, I'm not saying that I don't cry. I do cry a lot. So kind of becoming desperate, like, oh my God, when that's going to end? I mean, hold on tight. Anyway.
Edgy, I like that. Wow, you said so many things that I want to talk about. First of all, I love, and I remember in my map you told me, Josie, what were you doing in the beginning of February? Because the new
True.
moon was in Aquarius, and now after 6 months again, so the full moon is in Aquarian, and this is something learned that I this is something new
Mhm.
that I learned with Edgy. Why? Because the new moon is when you put your seed over there, right, Edgy? So
Mhm.
that's why you need to pay attention that the new moon is when you think, okay, what what do I want to change in my life, or what do I want in my life? And then you start to plant the seed. You start to do it slowly, or and sometimes people do it without even knowing, and they know, wow, later 6 months after, how did this happen?
Mhm. They
And
do it
I
intuitively. This is so nice because some people are really, connected to, I mean, to the skies without technically knowing that they are. But some people are that, wow, they
yes,
flow with the universe.
and I
Continue.
like it because then, Edge, what were you doing in the beginning of February? And try to remember, and then see if you are getting, if you are harvesting whatever you put over there, whatever your seed was there. So it's
Whatever
interesting
you
because I
planted.
was trying to remember, I was looking like, where I was, and that's why it's important. A lot of people take notes, or, during moons, to make sure
Journaling. It's
the
nice to
journaling. Yeah.
journaling. I mean, sometimes we when we write, we kind of let our soul speak to us. And some people from the spirituality, they are leaders and they guide people. They say one of the things that's nice for you to do is like buy a notebook, or in United States or in Europe, there's certain, I mean, so nice uh, material that you can actually have for your journaling, because sometimes it's important as well, especially me, people from Taurus, people. They are ruled from Venus, the goddess of love. Of course, Taurians, they love
This is
nice.
me.
Yes, they are very
So,
sensorial people, because the five sense, they like to smell, they
and
like to
Edgy,
be
when you
touched,
told me
they like
that was crazy
to
because
taste.
so I'm Taurus and I'm the kind of person that call Edgy, what is happening? Because she mentioned a couple of what are the so it's Taurus, Scorpion, you said
Leo and Aquarius, the fixed
the
sign.
fixed, yeah. And then
Yes.
I was one of these, one of these people calling Edgy. I need to talk to you. What's going on here? Like, and then it's when you got together and you spend only 5 hours, simple like that.
No, but
But
then you guys, we need to also say that due to the fact that Josie and I we follow the law of time, and we know our kings, and we studied the king. I actually got her map and bring together information from the astrology map, which is our earthly uh, learning process, with the galactic map from the Mayans, from the kings, which is a spiritual map, and we bring things so one could complement the other. And that's something that I offer to some people, some clients, and I also had some feedback how interesting it is when you get two different views from two different knowledge and uh, wisdom together, and they just do this, like they mingle,
Mhm.
and you can use more than one tool, not and not and offering credits for all of them instead of don't give the proper importance. That's why we spend 5 hours. But then again, once you go, if you look for an astrologer, and if you are under a particular situation, it's advisable for you to write down everything that it's in your mind, like, or everything that you are going through. Because sometimes we, as astrologer, we think that we are going to lead the reading in a different way, in this particular road, but then the universe points us like, this is not what your client needs. Your client needs to know that, and there is a list of things, and we need to be open to this, to the flow of the reading, and satisfy or clear all the doubts that that client gave us when he or she contacted us about, look, I need an astrology interpretation of my map, either a birth chart or a solar revolution, or just an actual current transit, or I have moved countries and I don't leave my original country, I moved to some other country and another continent. Is there anything that has changed? Can you clear out what is happening, or how long this tense, these very stressful moments, are they short, or are they gonna be for a long time? Ah,
Yeah, because you kind of know, right, Edgy, okay, this might be a little bit longer, but it will pass. Or this is gonna
as they
be,
say, everything in life pass.
yeah, or it's gonna
Everything
be
pass.
a little bit short, it's gonna come strong and go and but then you learn how to, you have an idea, you have an orientation of how to act. Because
Mhm.
otherwise you might mess up something, you might mess up, or you might hurt someone's feelings because maybe it's a time that you are not feeling, you are so kind of stressed, and you're going to say things that you're going to regret later. You're going to do
No, but
things that you're going to
sometimes I
regret
know.
later.
But I'm gonna tell you that with Uranus, playing part on this, sometimes even when you think that you are in control of your words and your actions, you just act, and you kind of, as there's an expression in Brazil that we say, we put our hands in the place of our foot, or we place our foot in the place of our hands. We mixed up everything. And we're just like, oh no, I can't believe that I did that. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Another thing is, guys, right now, the karmic nodes, the north node that's right now it's in Taurus, and the south node that right now is in Scorpio. The nodes, the lunar nodes, they speak about karmic situations. So it is a huge cycle. So the axis, Taurus, Scorpio, is about Taurus. What do I own? What do I possess? And Scorpio is the opposite that says, look, you don't possess anything. You have to be instead of having to have. But we are exactly the opposite, because we have to go to what do we have? What do we actually possess? We know what we are, but can I transform what I am into what I can be? And that's for everybody. Each one of you that is here right now or that's going to watch this video eventually, basically, until the end of 2022, because it's the amount of time that the nodes are on. Go back 9 years ago. That's half of the cycle when you get the north node in Scorpio and the south node in Taurus. You do some kind of a reflection. Okay, I'm going to meditate and I'm going to rewind my life and going to see what was happening 9 years ago. That's half cycle. Then you go 18 years ago and you're going to have the full cycle. Because 18 years ago, there was the same placement. North node in Taurus, south node in Scorpio. What was happening then? Because the amazing thing and the magical thing about studying astrology or Vedic astrology or astrology in general is just like cycles. Small cycles, medium, long-term cycles. And you can use that as a compass to see, what has happened before, what is happening now. Is there anything that I can change? Like the thing, oh, I have seen this movie before. I don't want to see again. Oh, yes, I want to see this movie before. But in a way, you kind of, not that we have everything like, I know what is going to happen and I can program my life. Because there's another thing as well, that life is a mystery and everything is magic. And sometimes not knowing everything bit by bit makes this moment in life perfect. And sometimes, like we astrologers, sometimes I forget to look at my map. But when the things happen, I was like, oh man, it's right there and I didn't see it. But for other things, I kind of plan like structure. Oh, I need to structure my life. So I'm gonna look at my map because structure is a structure. That's it. But anyway, kind of having, you decide to go for a trip. All right, I'm going to get to know that country that I have never been before. And sometimes you need to know, like, what is the culture of the country? We're going to pick the example of the India. That's another thing that connects us. We women know that in India, there's no way they're going to show your shoulders. Or if you go to South Korea, and I have lived in South Korea, there's no way that you're going to show your breast. No such thing, there are some dress codes. And you have to respect those dress codes. This is something. So you see, just go to a place, like, wow, out of the blue, I decided to go to this place and I disrespect the culture of the country. I need to get to know the minimum of the culture of that particular country that I want to get to know, even if I have never set my foot there. But it's a beginning. It's an initial process. And sometimes that culture attracts you and you flow with it. And sometimes you have very bad impressions or experience with the culture. And I think it's a parallel, as in, should I actually hire an astrologer to get to know myself and get to know my map, or I just ignore it all by itself?
Exactly, Eddie. And as I said, self-knowledge you get to know a little bit. How many people here ask themselves like, who am I, right? What am I doing here? And there are points in our life, mainly when you are going through a hard situation, I would say, is when we question ourselves a lot, like, who am I? What am I doing here? Why am I going through this? Why am I experiencing this? And the astrology, it helped me a lot. I think everybody should at least try. I mean, there's nothing to hurt. There's nothing, related to religion, or, I know a lot of people related to religion, but it's not. It's a self-knowledge. It's interesting because people say, what about this? And then, and Earth and the stars and the planets. But when if NASA comes with something, oh, okay, that's awesome. Wow, all these NASA engineers, guys, they study all this too. You know that? They know astrology. They know astrology. They have
Because
to know
before,
astrology.
astronomy and astrology, they were studied together. And then there was a rupture. And get to know the constellations in the sky, is also a very scientific study, and that's important. One thing that, why you are saying that, how do you see yourself, as you said before, as you mentioned it before, that you had your map read before you have your map done with me. What was the feeling after the doubts and the questionings that you brought to the reading? Were they fulfilled? Was the reading or an astrology session transform your life and help you reorient the route of where are you going in life, especially with the motivation of your soul instead of the motivation of your ego? How do you translate that? How do you see yourself, like, before the map being read and after the map being read?
Ed, that is a great question because it really changes life. First, you look at and you think, hold on. How do I say, this is normal, not normal, but okay, this is supposed to happen. And then you go through the therapist side. Okay, what do I need to learn with this? How do I act like this? I think the astrology got me a lot on this, like, you know how to act. Many times, Edgy, when days that are, I don't know why I'm acting certain way, I said, what is happening? And then I go and I ask you, or I go to Instagram and I follow someone that, you know, check some people that talks about astrology. It doesn't matter which one, and talk about the energy of the day. And I said, oh, this is the energy. You have kind of a, I don't know if it's the right way, but you kind of accept, and you're gonna act in a better way that you maybe wouldn't do it if you didn't know. And as I said before, maybe you would hurt people with words, with actions, or maybe you would mess up something. But when you are aware, hold on, Josie, this is the energy, is not only you. Because what happened, Edgy, when you are talking to a person, you're not gonna get there and say, hey, I'm pissed today, I'm ready to kill someone. We have masks, I don't come to a friend and, even friends, we don't get a person you say right away. And the person doesn't say either. But in the end, both are kind of maybe feeling the same, but of course, you're not going to get there and. So I have a feeling that, not a feeling, like, I think that when people get to know their map, get to understand that there are days or months or parts of your life that it's gonna really challenge you, you look at that challenge as something to learn, because everything here in this earth is to learn, is to evolve. We are here to evolve, we are here to learn. And the good way of doing this is, first of all, have the knowledge that this is what is happening, so you act different. You're not going to be aggressive in difficult times. And second, you learn that in the end, it's fun. Isn't it fun here to talk about astrology? And we kind of laugh because say, oh, okay, Saturn is doing this with Aquarius. Ha ha ha. You want to mess up my life, but I know you now. So I know what I have to do, you know? Sounds like a crazy conversation, but it is. It is. And then you end up like, I, I don't I don't know if people know, but there are a lot of famous people that do their maps. You can tell about that, Edge, if you want. But many people, many famous people, and why they are so successful. Or, you know, they if they are really into, they know what to do, when to do. Like Josie, let's not do a live today, not a good day because of this and that. Or no, Josie, let's do it because this is a good day. And I remember watching a interview of Giselle Bündchen with what is the name of that Brazilian woman that does a culinary show in the morning?
You mean Ana Maria Braga?
Yes, yes.
You
So
was there talking to Ana Maria Braga
exactly, Giselle Bündchen was there, but this was like I think a couple of
many years
years
ago,
ago.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She had kids already, but
Mhm.
it was not recently, like years ago. And she told about astrology because Ana Maria asked her about, she said, oh, I've heard you like astrology, because she knows about the numbers, you know, when you see similar numbers, she's
Mhm.
all about that. And
She's all connected. Yeah.
she said, I really like astrology. I believe in astrology. She follows a lot. She studies a lot. So there are a lot of famous people that they know, they study, they know they get to know themselves very well. And this is what, if you are able to really, you know, follow and, you know, get to know what is happening certain days, and what is the best day for this or that, it is, I mean, there's no way to get wrong, you know. And of course there's the other side also, you know. You need to be, it's not only know, oh, this is what it is. You need to act, you need to do what you need to do to
Need to take action. The
take
thing is,
action.
it's like an investment because you are investing in yourself, you are investing in we are individuals, but we live in a world, so there is a collective involved. And I know that it's gonna sound cliche, but it's like microcosm, huge cosm. How do you say that in English? You know, what's happening inside happens outside. So if our inner world is organized, or we are at peace with our inner world, you know, eventually that will reflect on the outer world as well. And there is a hermetic um, learning, you know, when you read Kabbalion or when you go to the hermetic teachings of the old sages, you know, they say there, Ayurveda as well, you know, Jyotish as well, what's inside is outside. What's, you know, in my inner world is in the outer world. It's just a reflection. And as we change, although it seems like, oh, nothing is going to change. Oh, come on, man, have some faith. Of course, that if I change few aspects of myself, a few behaviors, and improve, of course, this will reflect on my external world, or I can impact in a very positive way people around me so they can actually, wow, well, maybe it's true, maybe that can happen, instead of seeing things from a very negative way or with some prejudice or with some criticism as well, you know, because okay, if you believe or don't believe, it's fine. But as long as you see, you know, what comes out of it, you know, the changes that come out of it.
Exactly, Eddie. It's, I mean,
You
it
let
is
me know. It's about time.
amazing.
I just
I
didn't hear
love
that
it.
our
And no,
life is
eh,
how long has been
oh my
happening in our
gosh,
life.
yeah, we are
I don't
talking
know.
here like as a no, just one thing, Ledgy, because you ask about also after have my the map read. I love that it is saved, and because sometimes I just say, sh I'm giving my example. She told me things I said, oh, but I'm not like that anymore. And then I just said, yeah, Josie, because you passed this time, you evolved, or you transmuted,
Hmm.
so you don't feel like that anymore, or you don't see yourself there anymore. But you were there one day, right? I say, right. And there are things that I maybe don't even feel yet. And she said, read your map again, maybe in a couple of months, next year. So the map, it is a life investment because you have that for your life. I mean, you can watch your map and see, in this case, for example, what Edgy said about your map today, tomorrow, next month, next year. And it's gonna always help you because maybe today I came to Edgy with a specific question about something specific, but maybe in a couple of months or next year, my mind is in another thing. I go back to the map and I said, oh, shoot, you know what? Edgy mentioned about that as well. Because then
That's
your
true.
mind
It's a lot of information.
is a
And
lot of
people tell me, I
information.
mean, it's like a download of things, and I don't have time to process. Of course, it takes time to process. That's why having the reading recorded is nice because you have the audio with you, and you can return and go back. You have your map printed, and you can look at it, and you can get to know the placements. And I also offer a suggestion when people come to me and say, oh, this is my map. Look at the center of your map. There is a sacred geometry when the aspects, when the planets talk to each other. One planet is talking to one another, and they create a design. And there are so many designs. Everyone is unique. And you can look at that geometry in a sacred way and try to mingle with that in a very not in a thinking way, in a very instinctive way. And another thing that I tell people is that, okay, you hire me to read your map in a period of 1 year, until 1 year till you have your schedule. You can call me and say, look, I'm going through some very critical situations. Can we have a session just to clear my doubts? Because it's important as well that it's not that I'm going to read the map of for a client and then I'm going to disappear. No, I'm here to give support to my client because sometimes during the reading, yes, 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 but at some time when things happening and the person gets to listen to the audio, or life throws a difficult situation and the person, oh my God, where is my astrologer? Hey, not that we are gods or goddesses. We're just here as, codifiers, translators of this sky and offering our services,
To
the best
guide.
that we can, the best that we can.
It was very
And then we
interesting.
are we are humans as well, and we commit
Yes,
mistakes, and
yes.
we say in Portuguese, we step at the banana. How do you say casca de banana? And you just hit your head on the floor like, oh my God, I can't
You
believe it.
sleep in a banana and yes,
It's true.
yes, because
Or
everybody,
life,
right, Edgy?
life it just
Everybody.
pull your ankle and just like, hey, you guys, what do you think? Life
Everybody,
shapes
because
you.
everybody is in Earth. Everybody's here because needs to evolve. Maybe some people are like, I don't want to use this word, but I don't know a better one. Maybe it's in a higher level in a way, like more spiritual, evolve, others not. But this person is still here to evolve. It still needs, it still have things to learn, to improve, everybody, nobody's perfect. This doesn't exist. If you say someone here is perfect, no. all of us have issues, all of us have problems, all of us have, thoughts, and we are here to
Moments
learn.
of doubt, when we feel lost. And I do have a very good friend of mine, and I say, you are my professional astrologer, because sometimes when I don't see clearly, it's like, hey, you, please, shed some light over here, because I don't see. Because sometimes we tend that it's the same as being a psychologist or psychiatrist. You go on the treatment because
Hmm.
you are, as a healers and
Hmm.
therapists,
Yes,
we need to have this humbleness
yes,
that we do need support as well, because we,
yes.
we are offering support to people. And in order for us to offer support, we have to receive support as well. And another thing is that recently, my life is, upside down. It's been quite some months, that it's like an endless, challenging time. But anyway, I decided to get out of huge centers and being more to a roots, to nature and to a less populated city. So it helps to, in my life, it's important to be in nature, to get Wi-Fi connected from the nature so I can recharge my batteries, because you see, planet Earth, we have to ask for Gaia to
And this is
support
so
us
nice,
along.
Edge, because people here, Edge, if you're gonna make an appointment with her, if for some reason her energy is not okay, she's gonna say it's not a good day to read. And I think for who understands about that, this is so important. Because you want a person over there with a good energy, you don't want anybody there just to be there, just for money reasons. And I know that Edge is not like that. We reschedule I had my map with her one day, and she was so nice. She said, Josie, can we reschedule? Today was not a good day. And what she could have done, just sit over there and read and just, but she's people 5 hours. I'm not saying don't be scared. Some people might say like, oh shoot, I'm not going to be sitting five
No,
hours.
but we
This,
don't see the time passing, because it's just
we
like
don't, yeah, yeah.
when we talk about, movies, everybody like movies. Come on. It's just like you are like Narnia. There's a wardrobe. And then you open the wardrobe and you go through the inside the wardrobe, and you are in another realm with new characters, like a lion that speaks,
And
I mean,
you have a lot of
it's just
questions
like
you
that.
want. Yes, so it goes according to what you want, what you need. So, but another thing, Edge, I want to tell you how nice. So I remember Edge telling me, Josie, you need more water and earth, and is
All the
it
elements to
the
balance the
elements,
elements in
and
your
it
life.
matches
Yes.
perfectly with Ayurveda, because Ayurveda, I don't know if you know, Ayurveda talk about the five elements. So the five
Hmm.
elements of the nature is also the five elements we have inside us. Actually, everything has the five elements, and that's why we are connected. And I said, Edge, holy cow, it's just
Holy
like,
cow.
yeah, it's just like Ayurveda, because I have a lot of air and I need more earth and water. So she gave me some tips of how to bring this water. And one of them, she said, Just, do you have a bathtub? I said, yeah. She said, take more bathtub, stay there. So after this 5 hours with Edge, and amazing information, I went to the bathtub. I lay down over there and I was trying to process all the information, just like she said, in the water. And it is the water always calms me down. I know that I need this, and I know if I am touching the garden plants, this is very helpful for me too.
Yeah.
Ah, there it is.
Oh, they jumping, they're gonna hit the mobile. Another thing I said, that sometimes just the Trinity, like when you know your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. Moon sign is related to your emotions, how you behave emotionally. The ascendant, the rising, is like a mask. Like people see you, and sometimes they see you, and the you that they see is not actually the you that you are, because the you that you are is your sun. And it's good as well to get to know the elements there. compose this trinity, and I'm gonna use myself an example. I'm a Scorpio sun. I like to investigate things. I go deep into situations and, oh, what is my Ganesha? My God, my cats have disappeared with my Ganesha. And the Ganesha for the reading. And when I go deep and are very intense. And sometimes I really try to control my intensity, but I just can't. And on top of that, I'm electric blue storm. That's another point. And my ascendant sign is Aquarius. I just love to be outdoors and ride a bicycle. If you see myself without a bicycle, that means that I'm half dead because I like that wind on my face, and I love the freedom, to do things and to go according to my will. Like I don't depend on the taxi driver or the bus driver or the subway, whatever. It's on my own. And the intensity about being a lion, that it's something, that pulls my ear like, don't become a drama queen, So sometimes it's good for you just to know the basics, like, so you can relate to others around you without losing your authenticity, but at the same time offering the best that you have to offer that's inside of you, and that you can um, be full and whole with you. It's interesting, because I didn't plan. Remember that we planned this live in another day, and our talk over here talks much about the energy of the token, because today is White Galactic World Bridger. So the galactic tone talks about integrity. And the integrity means, you are whole with all your beliefs and all your what you have to offer. The white guys, they refine the white kings or stamps or, you know, characteristics. And the word bridger is this uh, embraces other opportunities and different words, plus telling us that everything is impermanent, and we have to learn to let go of the what no longer serves us, and that could be a behavior, that could be a belief, that could be something that we we are so stubborn, stuck to it, that we become blind, that we need to realize that it's not working anymore and it needs to die.
That is the
Anyway,
energy today.
that's the energy today.
And do you know what
The
is
light.
crazy, Edgy?
Uh,
What were you talking in the beginning that I said sometimes people is stuck in a job, in
yeah,
a relationship, or in a, whatever it is and can't move. And sometimes there is something showing you, trying to show you, move, move. And today is right at energy.
as we say, we are, for you guys that, in this conversation, there's another change about, I like the synchronicities of life. And according to the law of time, we are surfing the blue storm wave spell. And the blue storm talks about transformation and leaving a word bridger king inside a huge transformation, because these energies are very similar. It's like, this is a good day to die. I mean, we die every day. When we go to sleep, we don't know if you're going to wake up. You don't know, what your spirit does or where your spirit goes when you die. Some people know, others they don't. And our body, our cells, they die. Everything dies. Nature, the butterfly, the flower. When we look at our nature, there is this process of birth, growth, and death. And in yoga and Ayurveda as well, you get like the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, and one gives birth, the other maintains the world, and then Shiva comes there and changes everything.
Destroys. Yeah.
It destroys everything, so you can be rebirthed.
Yeah.
So
And
maybe
when we talk about destroy, it's not like destroy. It's more like It's pay attention in your life, see what is blocking you to go to the next level, and destroy that in a way of, right, take that out of your life, find another path, find another way, try, you know, because then it comes about fear that, society put on us, and you are like, no, but I need to stay here because how am I gonna pay my bills and this and that, and you are afraid to go to what you really like, to what you really love, and you stay stuck because of fear. And this is, Edge, I think we need to do a weekly uh
A weekly conversation.
a weekly,
No, I
because
mean,
it's,
and you
I
said
mean,
about something about fear. Fear is the opposition of love. It's not hate. And the vibration of fear keep us stuck, but like keep us frozen. That sometimes it's hard to access the fire that exists inside of our heart. So that's something that, and we could feel, through this pandemic phase that we are went through, how damaged fear, fear about speak what you believe, fear about hurting somebody with the words that you would like to say, fear of being not successful, fear of not being able to do what you have studied for so long. I mean, there's so much fear around us. And maybe we can finish this live with
yeah.
the energy of face your fear in order to release the love that exists inside. And I get emotional.
Maggie.
That's another thing too, much more emotional. So many things happening, then just keep going. Just keep going.
Just keep going, people. Yeah, life shouldn't be hard, shouldn't be difficult. We just have to look at everything in another way. Look at everything as a learning, instead of criticize, judge, or if there is something that you want to do in your life so bad for years and you don't have the courage, or you have some fear about that, think about that, like reflect about that, because life is short. And I mean, think about it. When you die, you want to die, wherever you go, you're going to look back and say, what did I do? What
That's
did I
another
do?
thing about the energy of Scorpio that, it's in this axis about Scorpio, talks about taboo. The house related to the Scorpio is the eighth house, which is the opposite of the second house of Taurus that exists. Again, North Node, South Node right now, guys. Second house, Taurus, ruled by Venus. What are my values? What do I believe? And how do I make my money according to my efforts? And then this second house is opposed to the eighth house of Scorpio, ruled by Pluto and Mars. Pluto is that planet that brings about everything up to the surface, but then give us as well, our magnetism and our own power, especially the power of regenerate, that we can actually die and be rebirthed as a phoenix, which is another symbol of the Scorpio sign. But what are the taboos, issues, and subjects? Money, death, taxes, other people's religion, politics. So what if we look around, the more the world is coming to these terms, wow. Another thing, I always keep saying, that I used to be a diver, and like when you're on top of the platform, there's no way that you're gonna down the stairs. You have to dive and jump into the water, and hopefully you're gonna land head first instead of hitting the water like this, bah, it hurts. That's another thing, that sometimes, I think, wow, I chose, a sport that was so challenged, and for 5 years in my life, I could die at any moment. So that's another thing about Scorpios. Scorpios, they are just crazy daredevils that they defy death all the time. And they feel joy and fun for that, which can be dangerous as well, when you don't know the boundaries, when you don't know the limits of what's safe and what's not really safe. Anyway, Josie, thank you so much for opening some time in your agenda for this chat, which was really nice. Hopefully, it's going to help some people that come to me and say, "Oh, I would like more information. How does a birth astrological or galactic map works?" And listening from the other side, from a person that has had her map interpreted and read, and all the issues that were haunting you at that particular moment were clarified and studied one by one. It's important to have, the feedback from who experience, the services that I offer. Because sometimes like, what a Brazilian? I don't know this lady. Who is she? What she does? Can I trust her?
No, this lady, I can tell you, she's amazing. Ed, I need to thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And
Oh, thank you, dear.
I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't open up if I wouldn't believe. And I'm here because it did a huge difference in my life. And for who follows me in Instagram, you know that lately everything that I'm bringing here are things that I'm doing to myself, that I've been doing actually. It's not like yesterday, for about 3 years or more, and it's working. I see a lot of differences in my life, and it's that time that you want to scream all that to the, scream to the world, like, people, please do this just once, like, open your eyes. And but at the same time, you can't. So what I'm trying to bring here, it is things that really changes your life, really changes the way you see everything, and to the good, to the good side, never to the bad side, always to the good side. And I think the world needs this, because this is what's gonna make us better. So Edgy, if you don't follow Edgy, follow Edge on Instagram. She is amazing. She's like me. She has posts in Portuguese and in English, because of course she wants to do, for her country, and also for those that are not in her country. And if you've never done your map, do it. It is I mean, we are here for an hour talking, right? So try it at least once, and it will change. It will change your life, the way you see things. And I couldn't recommend a better person than Edgy, because she's just, if you meet her 101, if you have a map, you're gonna see she's just like this. There's nothing fake over there. There's no masks. She is like that. Did you see her? Cat, get out of here. I love that. This is Edgy, like, Josie, this is me, right? It's so. Thank you for inviting me, Edge. It
Oh,
was
you're
it was a
welcome. I'm
pleasure,
glad.
and
Yes.
I think this is gonna be the first of many, because we have
For those
so
of
much
you
to
that are
talk.
here, on Stellar Chat, Bate-Papo Stellar, we are going to do a similar live in Portuguese, but in a few weeks from now, because Josie is organizing a few things with her life, and I'm organizing few things in my life. And I'm organizing my YouTube channel only in English, because I need to, you see, as an Aquarius rising, sometimes I don't like to follow rules, but I do have to follow some rules. So I need to abide, okay, YouTube work this way, so let's do properly. So that's another thing that we have to go with what the word asks of us. So organizing English material in my YouTube channel, Stellarchat, Portuguese material on my YouTube channel that has been already on, Bate-Papo Estelar, and the material gonna be able to, I think so, hopefully, leave this live recorded here on Instagram. So you are all welcome. Send messages on direct, how does it work? How do I do? How can I schedule? And etc. And I thank you for your time, for you, Josie, to uh, allow yourself to open up to people that you don't know. How was your impression and the feedback from the reading? I would like to thank everyone who was here throughout this hour and a half almost. And for those of you that are watching later the live that is recorded, and it's important sometimes to at least pass the message, and do not die with this knowledge inside of us. We need to share. Everybody needs to share good things and experiences in life, because even some challenging experiences, sometimes you go under a really tough moment, but the person next to you can look at you like, wow, and I'm here complaining about my life. The other person is facing a much more difficult time, and I'm here complaining. So that's another thing, that sometimes, life throws us. Look, person, do not complain. Be grateful for everything, even for the challenge. And as we say in astrology, if there wasn't, if there weren't the aspects, the challenge aspects, we wouldn't be able to appreciate the harmonious ones. Because it's really nice to be happy when life flows. The challenge is, can you be able to be happy when there's no safe ground for you to step onto and be alive? Well, Josie, thank you so much. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day, until the
Thank
next
you.
time. And you guys that like Ayurveda and like natural beauty, go and get to know Josie, because she came from India with so much to share, and things that are simple. And there we are at hands, nothing out of the blue, something really practical and that can transform your life. And you don't need to waste so much money, to become the best expression of you, because each one of us, we are all unique. We can all contribute to this world, and we need to stop this competition. And because, we need to, okay, we are here virtually speaking, but we know there are some fake people and there are people that are real, So welcome,
Muito bem, adorei.
All right, kisses.
All right.
All right, valeu, Josi.
Thank you.
Take care.
Valeu.
See
Bye
you. Bye bye.
bye.
Bye bye, galera. Bye bye.